Katarina. Good morning, everybody. Oh, really? You are sick of what, Katarina? Okay, thanks for the recording. Let me have another screenshot. I just closed the one that I opened. Where was that? Okay. Today we're going to try something new, guys, and goals, by the way. But give me a second. We will try to start trying to be helpful in the fundamental analysis with my insights on that. I honestly don't follow that contest that much because I believe that being how you say it. Okay, I'm back. Was closing some bunch of pages. Stick like sick cold. Oh, okay. Do you still have the snow there in Latvia? By the way, I believe I forgot to deliver my traditional intro. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my webinar, broadcasting live from Mexico City. This is me, myself, Alberto Alvarado. This is my free YouTube channel. In any case, you want to subscribe. In the search box, you type this shows up, you click subscribe, and you're done. Today is Monday, February 27th, 2017. Yeah. And my local time is 1 a.m., almost 20 minutes past the hour, 7 a.m., 20 minutes past the hour, GMT time. Still snowing. Well, we're just 1 month from spring, I believe. Yeah, 1 month, a little bit less. So hopefully you will have better weather there, Katarina. Yeah, in March 21st. Well, officially that is where spring is starting, but I don't know if at that moment you will quit having snow. I would like to thank everybody for showing up, Katarina, of course, all the guests. Rocas, welcome, and thanks for being around. And it's strange that I don't know, I don't have the visual now how close Lithuania is from Latvia, but I believe they are not that far. And one country is having no snow and the other is snowing. Oh my God. Well, this is silly and crazy global warming thing, I believe that is difficult to predict. Oh my God. Well, here in Mexico, in the case that you're interested, at this very moment we have, it's like cold, or what we call cold here, but it's times in the afternoon, making kind of more heat than usual. So I don't want to think how spring and summer will be here. So yeah, maybe I will have to get myself an air conditioned. Oh my God, it's like living in a fridge. That would be nice. Okay, everybody, we will continue with where we left it on. Katarina says, Vilnius is 4-hour drive by bus from Riga. So, how strange is that? 4 hour in bus, and in one place you have no snow, and in the other a lot of snow. Well, yeah, it's. Well, no, here in Mexico, you drive whatever direction you want 4 hours. The climate, the weather is pretty much the same. But it's strange. my car drive 2.5 hours. It's like around the corner. That's really odd then, to have these differences in weather. Oh my. Well, guys and girls, what we're going to do is, firstly, we're going to review how our trade on, I don't know if you remember. Oh my God. Well, who knows? Maybe Rocas owns a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Lamborghini or something. Maybe he's used to drive that speed. Who knows? Or maybe he travels in helicopter. Maybe. So, well, just to continue with the analysis, on Friday I was commenting that I had an insight to the downside on dollar yen. This line is where when we started the webinar. Well, not when we started the webinar here, and I commented at that time that I was expecting a bearish move on dollar yen, and it got to the 112. If I'm not wrong, let me check. I just skipped the quote. There is, yes, 112. So I remember commenting that that I had that feeling that the yen should move lower. Today I opened 2 trades. Let me show them to you if it's possible, because I commented you that I was trying to scope different kind of contests this time, and one of them was going to be the binary options contest. I started the week with 2 profitable trades that I opened, but barely in profit, because the problem with binary options that you time wrongly the market, the trade can move completely against you, and it's just a matter that you close it in 1 pip in loss and you lose it all. I mean, lose all the how you say it, what you put in your binary option. So, well, here it is. It's no longer in the chart. Here it is. I am really having, I believe that this is my 5th day in this contest this month, so I having no ambitions in this contest this month. I'm just trying the platform to get used to it, to start seriously this next month competition, along with a trader contest. And well, this is how it went. I opened 2 call trades to the upside, euro yen and dollar yen. They both profited in the green, as you can see. They were bullish trades. Let me show you more or less where I opened them. Well, in this case, this is the Japanese yen. I opened it more or less here. And as you can see, it went in my favor, but it started moving against me. No, it was here, you know, at this, because the trade was closed like in 2 pip in profit. So, but look at this, it reversed. And the problem with the binary option contest is that you have no way to close it beforehand. That is something that I dislike of the contest, but well, those are the rules. And being honest, I don't know the binary option platform in Dukascopy, the live one, if you can close your trades beforehand, before the expiry date or expiry time. But the truth is that there are very scarce brokers out there that allow you to do that. Usually the binary options is something that you need to really cherry pick your stake and your timing, because at times, even if some brokers claim that you can close it beforehand, when you try to close them trades beforehand, sometimes you have rejection. So it's much better just to mentalize that it's all or nothing, it's completely wrong or right, and it has to you have to hold it till expiration. So, well, in this case, as you can see, my trade was barely in profit, but that's all what you need. You don't need anything else. And the other trade, one, let me put you in the 1 hour. The other one was the euro yen. It was much more stable. But again, this trade was also closed barely in profit. I believe that this one was closed in 8 pip in profit something. You open it like in here or something. It went in my favor, but it retraced. But this made a good movement to the upside before closing yet. So, but yeah, I was some minutes before the webinar started. I was seeing that maybe my Japanese yen trade was going to be closed in loss. So my winning would be simply wiped out. My winning would be simply wiped out by the loss here. So that's the problem with binary options, that besides that you need to diversify trying to anticipate this, the timing is the most difficult part in the binary options because, well, it's not that hard when you get used to the price flow to feel the market. I mean, it's really tough to get there, but once you get there, it's not that difficult just to keep up grinding profits from the market. The problem is the timing, because at times it reacts quicker. So in margin trading, it's useless if you have a trade open 1 minute or 1 week. You simply can't profit and move and maneuver your trade. In the binary options, it's impossible. So, well, what I believe here, just wanted to show you that trade. So these both trades were closed in profit. So I hope that at least today and tomorrow I could continue having some good trades in the binary options, since the trader contest is completely lost. This thing is completely lost also. But if I get lucky, I could even get close to the 15. In the binary option contest, you are paid if you are in the first 15 places. So yeah, the 15th place, I believe she has, because I believe this woman has like $25,000 in profit. So yeah, it would be very difficult. But since I am really not having any kind of opportunity here, I have nothing to lose. So if I focus, and in Monday I usually don't trade live accounts, so I could spend all my day trading the demo. So maybe I could get lucky and get close to that. So let's see. I will let you know tomorrow what happens. But well, this is what I wanted to comment yesterday, that this movement to the downside, on Friday, sorry. I was expecting a movement to the downside. And it happened. It moved from the, exactly, let me tell you, from the 112.80 to the 112. So it moved 80 pip straight, as you can see here. It bounced here and just to continue making lower lows. What could we expect from here? Well, let me tell you what I expect of it. Let me open my chart. I mean, just in any case that you are interested in finding some opportunities in the dollar yen, I believe that the opportunity really was on Friday, as I just said, that I was expecting a movement to the downside. It was an 80 pip move. So that was the big one. Maybe what we could have as usual Monday, it's I don't know, the market trying to find the floor. The 112 has worked very well for that. I just read in the headline some minutes ago that apparently, I believe that central bank, there is gossip in the market, the Central Bank of Japan buying Japanese bonds or something like that. So yeah, it could get kind of weird. the price action. But, well, what could I expect? Of course, the very short-term move is heading south, as you can see in the chart. Maybe trying to watch the, let me see, let me have a screenshot. You know what? I need to open with more indicators. Okay, so let's wait a second. I just this week widget. I'm almost there, guys and dolls. Here it is. Dollar yen 1 hour with bunch of indicators and chart patterns. Let's see what we can find useful. Okay. Let me try to, yeah, it is just trying to feel the market. We have very contradicting signals here. This is the dollar yen 1 hour, you can see. We have very high quality falling wedge, 74%. Actually, when we grabbed the market here, was just what it ended up being one of the reference points of this falling wedge. So the most likely thing is that we could expect this continue moving lower. Remember that we were talking about that, sorry, that on the weekly, we were having very strong signals to the downside. Let me show you again that. Okay. My chart is not loading. Okay. The hush. My CPU is 100% usage. So I will have Everybody, I am back. Sorry, I believe that you didn't have the chance to listen to me. My computer just started having the CPU 100%. I had to force the shutdown and to log in again. So that is why it took me so long to come back. Now let me launch my charts. Again, in the meanwhile, I was explaining, I don't know what was the latest thing that I was explaining. I believe that I was about to explain the weekly chart. So give me a second till my charts load so I can have a screenshot again. Can you hear me now, by the way? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I believe that I have my charts back. Let's have another screenshot. Thanks, Katerina. Yeah, I believe that against my will, I will have to find me another computer because it's really having a lot of problems overheating and stuff. So, okay, here I have my charts back. So let me snapshot the 1 week because I was commenting that 1 week. No, sorry. Actually, I was having a wrong memories on this. Let me. So, well, no, actually, I believe that I was remembering something. When I was commenting this short trade on Friday that happened here, from here to here, and then continue making lower lows, so now stabilizing here, I was commenting, now I remember well, that it was, I even pulled some indicators in the 1 minute chart, I believe. They're showing you at that moment, if I'm not wrong, we were having a what it was? I believe it was a triple bottom or double bottom, something like that, like here. And I was explaining according to a moving average, etc. You can check the video, the Friday's video on Dukascopy TV YouTube channel, so you can, if you're interested in getting in depth on that view that I had on Friday. But as you can see here, the 4-hour chart, I don't know, I don't remember, I was showing you this, I don't remember if we evaluated the 4-hour chart, but look at this. We actually have we have been having this breakout for a lot of hours. We had, I had my short expectations on yen here, so this breakout had already happened at that time. I don't remember showing you this. I don't remember seeing this. Maybe this chart pattern just showed up after some hours, after the trade, I don't know, but here it looks very clear why we are close to maybe to what the market would like to use as a bottom, at least as a take profit target, because besides this, the psychological is very close to this level. So all indicates, and well, this is what I was commenting. We have a channel up 62% ascending one in yen, dollar yen. So this is what is the long-term view. I've been always commenting that when you want to open a trade in any kind of pair or cross in Forex, you need to know where you're standing on. And when you know that you have an overall major trend fundamentally or technically biased to a side, like in this case to the upside, you really need to be very careful when the bulls, when it's the bulls time and the bulls move, because it's then when you can have heavy flows of capital moving in the direction of the trend. So it was a good idea on Friday. I don't know if somebody followed that that idea that I was commenting, because at that moment it was very clear for me that the market was moving down, and the market ended up doing that. But now that we're hitting a support, and when we're just having a how you say it, a super bullish weekly chart pattern to the upside, well, maybe trying to short so close to psychological level is not a smart thing to do. So maybe the opportunity for yen is over. As I just said, I opened a binary option trade to the upside on yen just after it retested the 112. Okay, just after it made it, I opened a bullish trade, a call option that expired minutes before the webinar. Okay, so as you can see, it made a good move to the upside, but immediately at the first resistance, that in this case was this channel, very close to the channel, it immediately started selling off. I was barely close to profit that trade. So yeah, this gives you an idea how active and yes, active are the bears still, even if we are close to psychological level. But we should need to wait maybe till tomorrow to have a clear idea. I believe that what the market will do today is to swing, to range bound here, maybe to make a lower low, then move up, etc. Usually Mondays are the days that the market forces try to find some ground, and from that ground, from Monday, they try to establish a strategy and the tactics for the days to come in the week. Of course, this sounds very militarized, but it's I'd like to see it more like a chess game. The first moves happen, the aperture in the chess game happens, of course, are the first moves, and how you play the mid and the end game depends on what happened in the opening. So Monday is usually the opening chess game for the forex market. So you need to more or less wait. Now we're very close to psychological level. What I don't like here is that the volumes here are lower than I would have expected. But here we have a very good volume on Friday, just ahead of the 112. So yeah, I see it weak. I see weakness here. But again, if we short this, either we wait for this to break and then we short in a pullback, or we wait a rebound and maybe we sell kind of here at this levels more or less. But it depends. Today is I bet that it's going to be a very narrow day for Japanese yen, so we must wait today. The big opportunity was on Friday. Well, this is the dollar yen chart. This is the hourly one that I was just sharing with you. So this is Friday's webinar beginning, and this is what it did after that. So what I wanted to start exploring from now on is to give how I understand news trading. I've been explaining long time ago that for me, news trading is something that I'm not really interested in. Like the fundamental trading contest in Dukascopy is more like news trading. But in my view, it's not fundamental trading. Fundamental trading is when you analyze the fundamentals and you picture a movement maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead, not 10 minutes after. It's very popular, of course. A lot of people like and love to trade and make a lot of money and lose a lot of money. Some of them trading the news, but I find it very, I don't know. For me, news trading for myself, for being interested in really trying to news trade for a living, you need to wait for the market structure to be aligned with more than 80% of precision of accuracy of what in the direction of the move that maybe you will try to that you expect. We need to remember that depending on the degree and the fundamental and geopolitical context, when a fundamental news comes in, The market could have movements completely against what it appears to be logical. At times it moves with the direction of the fundamental, then it could revert 2 or 3 days after. So maybe the fundamental trading contest in Dukascopy is 1 minute before the news release is the benchmark price, and you make your predictions before that, up or down after 10 minutes. So I see it difficult, and I don't like that much. But the things that I will try to push myself to find maybe a way to get in the fundamental trading contest also and share my insights here. What I really don't like on the fundamental trading is that you need this popularity vote, that you need to ask for like my fundamental analysis in exchange of I will like your blog post or etc. I really don't like that, but well, it's part of what I've been saying in other webinars, that at some moment the social skills, even if you're a successful trader, if you really want to make it big in the trading world, you need to be able maybe to sell your services as a money manager, etc. And if you really have a lack of important social skills, maybe you will find it very tough. But well, that's the rules on the contest. So we're having next in, I believe it's going to be 1 hour, not 2 hours. Here it was 2 hours and 40. Yes, 2 hours more or less. We're going to have consumer confidence. Here we don't have a forecast, but we have the previous number, minus 6.2. So bottom line, what you need to do is to choose bullish or bearish 1 minute before the release. That's going to be the price that will be considered for reference. And after 10 minutes of the news delivery, the market moves, and it depends if it goes higher of that benchmark price, and if you chose bullish, you have that prediction correct. So I will give you my overall sentiment on euro, even though let me open need. Wait a second. I don't know if you hear me well, but my computer is very, very slow now. Okay, let me have the screenshots. I already have them. These are the euro ones. Okay, thanks, Katerina. Thanks, Rocas. Okay, here is what I expect to be the reference in the euro dollar. Let me try to feel this. Okay, according to my feeling, and this is the 4-hour chart, and this is a triangle. The 4-hour chart. This is the euro dollar. What I am expecting is what I am feeling is that this market could be kind of oversold. Looking forward, moving upwards, but we cannot discard that euro could try to dip again, maybe here, and then try to move up, at least to retest this line. What I expect, since we have this news release in some 2 hours, that news should be the one that will give the fuel to the market to continue doing this. In other words, what I could expect if the fundamental number comes very close to what is expected, what I could then expect the euro to do, according to the 4-hour, maybe is after the news to move back, to move low, maybe to retest this, or even this, if it's very weak data, and maybe try to retest after that this line again. This is watching the 4-hour chart. This very same pattern in the 1-hour chart in the euro dollar, it's telling me it's I have the feeling that this should move again to the upside, not discarding maybe a dip and after a movement to the upside. So, according to that, if I was asked to maybe trade this news and running all the inherent risks of doing this sort of thing, that is why I don't like it, because I really feel it like gambling. If maybe I would open a bearish trade and I would take profit here. That's exactly, let me tell you the exact number. That should be like what? Like 105.50, something like that, if I'm not wrong. But I am just seeing that the euro dollar just moved up. I don't know why. We're just ahead the London opening. So yeah, maybe if I was asked, of course I'm not telling you to do this. This is only what I think. This is not a recommendation. But if I was maybe willing to try to trade this news at these heights that are more or less here now, we are in the euro dollar 105.80. So yeah, we're kind of here. So what I expect is maybe the market is positioning itself to precisely dip after the news, and then here revert and retest this line. So as you can see, it's a very tight move, unless we have a very deviated news in 2 hours. In this kind of cases, if you ask me what I expect to happen in the fundamental contest, maybe the most likely thing is not to trade it, not to trade this specific news, because we have a bunch of contradicting movements. Some technicals are still pointing to the downside. In the euro dollar, we have still this fear of the next presidential and the general elections in different parts of Europe. So there's an inherent fundamental risk to the downside, so that in any case that maybe this number comes slightly deviated, we could have maybe a movement way longer to the downside, not necessarily then trying to retest this. But thinking that nothing of that had an influence in 2 hours, and that we relied on the market would only react to the news, if I am right, and if during that listen to me, if in the next 2 hours we have a steady movement to the upside, this dip that I am proposing maybe won't happen. If the number is inside acceptable limits, rising acceptable limits, we could have a movement to the upside. In other words, if we have maybe the price by some reason holding here before the news release, maybe it will just make this quick down and up. But depends on the degree of deviation of the data. So the way I want to engage into this contest is finding wider zones of movement. If the market goes here before the news release, maybe then I could, if my lower time frame analysis doesn't change my mind, I maybe would open a bullish trade on the fundamental analysis. But because you see that the market moved and opened the range from this maybe to this. But well, it depends. It's for me, fundamental trading, this kind of news trading is pretty much gambling, because there are a lot of things that we need to consider and that we don't have any kind of information beforehand. But at least in the 1 hour, what I believe is that the euro is trying to find a way to go higher during this week. Depends on the next price actions, of course. I believe it's time to call it a webinar. If I'm not wrong, Rocas is next with his webinar. So what would like to thank everybody for showing up. Remember that not today. Okay, so I don't know if I can continue some minutes. Well, you know what? I will just let it this way because anyways it's Monday, so I don't have really a lot of things to talk about. Neither the contest, neither results, neither trading opportunities. So yeah, maybe just for the ones interested in playing this or even trading live this news thing. Let me just have a quick yeah, apparently what the market is trying to do, the market just is now testing that upper downward trend line. So the logic thing is to short there. But the problem is that even if it's a resistance, this is what the market is doing just now. What the market's in the 1-minute chart. Let me show you the 1 hour. You hear that? That's an ambulance here. This is a very educational setup. Why? Well, here is a 1-minute chart. We just have this breakout, as you can see, and as I've been telling you, this kind of stuff usually are traded. That once you have the breakout, then you took this price as reference, and you take all these distances and put them here to more or less know where is the next take profit target. So as you can see, this distance and this distance has just already been surpassed easily. Maybe this one, I don't have my complete chart there. Just let me check if it works it. The bottom line, the next stop, it's already surpassed. So even, and it continues grinding higher and higher. I don't know what's happening because it just moved like 8-9 tips in some seconds. I really don't know what is happening. So, but well, we are very close to take profit target of this pattern. That it's actually it is here. So it just surpassed it. Now the price is more or less here. And besides that, we're having this resistance. So as a no-brainer thing, this should be a shorting thing. But as I just told you before this movement to the upside happened, I was expecting maybe a movement to the upside, not discarding a kind of dip. But this is the problem, and this is what really makes a trader. This difference between having an expectation but being able to differentiate when you have an alternative scenario that could open and lead to your original insight, and knowing when that is not going to happen and it's going to happen straightforward, it's the real difference between becoming a trader, a successful one, and another that ends up losing what at some moment won, trading, having good trades. Okay, let me see how the price is doing now. It just spiked to the 105.87. We just had an increase in volumes there, retesting the top higher than the top of the previous. Let me show you that because this is really interesting. Well above. So this could be considered an overextended movement already. Second. Here it is. My computer is simply not cooperating. I cannot open my screen sharing again. I don't know what happened. So, well, in any case that maybe you are interested, if you go to the 5-minute chart, you will see, oh, here it is. Here it is. This is the same movement, okay? This is the 1-hour chart. This is the 1-minute chart. I will close it because I won't use this anymore. This is the 5-minute chart. So as you can see, before the breakout, this distance, and this distance has already been surpassed by far. So technically this is overextended. This doesn't mean that this will quit here, but at some moment the intraday and short-term traders are willing to take profit. And since they are not really wanting a 50 pip per trade, maybe they just sell with a 5, 6, 10 pip trade, at some moment this could lead to a movement to the downside. And then it will be the chance to have that pullback before the major move to the upside. And since we're hitting this resistance line, it's a, how you say it, a ideal scenario. You're having overextended movements in the 5-minute chart with very clear chart patterns. It's overextended. It's very close to the 106 area. It's a psychological level. And besides, we're hitting this, and we're having a bullish expectation. When you're having a and this is what I figured. The meaning that I give when you start trading and you become a trader, you need to start learning how to read the reality differently, but consistently. Because everybody could be good at reading, understanding, seeing things differently, but with no consistency. If you see, let's say, I don't know, a color, you could say it's dark blue, and others say will say no, it's not blue, it's marine blue. Another will say it's yellow. So yeah, seeing things differently and saying that it's yellow when it simply doesn't correspond to reality, it won't work either. So this delicate difference is what makes a trader. Learning that the market moves in waves and that the market's laws. Imagine that the price is like a captured animal, captured and tied by chains and by ropes. And the price will try to move up, down, up, down, up, down, trying to get rid of it. And this is the same way you would try to get rid of if you were trapped by chains or by ropes. You will try to move your hands one side another, trying to see if you find a way to loose the grip of the ropes, of the chains, and then try to set you free. This is the exact same thing the market does. The exact same thing. Meaning, all the moves up and down are part of an idea the market, the price has in its mind. If you have an expectation of something moving upwards, that doesn't mean that the price is already freed. It's already prepared. Okay, Rocas. Okay, thanks, Rocas, for being around. Thanks a lot for assisting. See you tomorrow, my friend. Well, so this is the exact same thing. You need to start moving your hands. So the price, when I tell you, I feel that this will try to move up, what I really subconsciously mean is I feel that the market is trapped and will want to break free to the upside. But in the meanwhile, it will try to move up, down, up, down, up, down until it releases itself and moves and makes that decisive move to the upside. It's like the yen trade we opened on Friday. Before And I'm going to show you that picture here. This is very clear. This is the dollar yen 4 hour that let us comment on a short trade here on yen. But look at this. It was trying to move to the downside, but before it went down, up, down, broke, and then stabilized, and then again to the downside. Imagine that what price is doing is this. Imagine it's like it's a trapped animal that it's trying to get rid of the cage of where the animal is captured, moving widely and trying to lose the ropes. That is what the price does. That is why I always say, I expect this to move up, but I don't discard any movement to the downside, because it's precisely the opposite. The more it moves to the downside, and it's still able to come back again to the price where I detected a potential movement to the upside, it moves down again, even lower if you want. But then if it makes it again to the upside, that increases my confidence in a direction to the upside. Because if a market that you expect going up manages a way to move lower and lower and being able to overcome and to get to your reference price, it says something. This is very subjective, and of course it's not, it's fallible, it can fail. But once you get used to this way to read the market, you will start opening doors to really feel the structure of the market. There are very few times a market really moves in a straightforward way, getting rid of everything immediately. It's very strange. You really need to have a strongly deviated, strongly better or worse than expected number, etc. Is something completely unforeseen, like a war or invasion or whatever. Those kind of stuff that are very scarce. The most likely thing is that the markets and the price will try to move this way. Okay, so continuing with that, and just to close this, let me see where this 5, okay, the 5-minute chart, euro dollar trade, how it looks now in the 5 minutes. Okay. Do you remember that when I watched some minutes before, I just said I am expecting this to move up. I don't discard a movement to the downside. And it moved up. Now it just, this was the previous triangle that I showed you. The top was here. Now we are well above. Now that the market is willing to take profit. It depends what happens here. If we are really able to make it lower, even lower than this price. If the price stabilizes here, it would be stabilizing at a very resistance line. And doesn't necessarily mean that a no-brainer is to the downside. If the market really sends signals that the animal is ready to move to the upside because it got rid of the grip of the ropes, it doesn't matter if it is sitting in a resistance, it could go up. So this latest price action, even if it hasn't broken convincingly to the upside, it's making me think that maybe I will open a trade in the fundamental trading contest to the upside. I need to do my short time frame analysis and to keep track of the price before the news release. But more or less, this is the logic. The logic is understanding. This is why some of the most naturally talented traders are the ones that are in touch with, let's say, nature. not. I don't want to say that they are the more spiritual, they connected with nature. No, are like having this very raw instincts. You know, the ones that are the ones that are most likely to be, even if they haven't tried it in their life, good hunters for survival, hunting animals, are usually good at trading because they have decoded this in their DNA. Because if you want, it's like being a predator, a tiger, a lion. When they want to hunt an animal, they need to be connected how an animal could react if it falls, if it doesn't fall, if it's injured or not, if it falls in a pond. So this connection to how an animal could behave in an endangered situation, in a threatening situation, being trapped, you can anticipate when this animal is most likely to run or to stay without moving, etc. So trading, as you see, and I've been saying that it's more like an instinct. It's much more like an imagination process. It's not a rational thing. Because if you try to engage this kind of comprehension in the rational market, you would say, okay, but it's stupid that an animal does this because it put itself in a dead end. Well, sometimes it happens, and that is how there are animals that are predated by predators because either they make mistakes, or the predator knows how to read the basic emotions of the animal better. But it has nothing to do with rationality. Now that, here if you see it, you say, okay, maybe now it's time to short. Yes, it would be like the manual trade. But if I had, before this movement to the upside, if I had told you that maybe I was expecting a movement to the downside, but I wouldn't rule out a movement to the upside before, then I would be shorting here. But since this is not my 1 hour and 4 hour sentiment, and I'm used, when you go to the 4 hour, you can feel something. When you go to the 1 hour, you can see the very same chart, its pattern, and feel the complete opposite. Why? Because you have more information. You have literally more candles, more indicators, more information that makes you have the hunch feeling, the intuition that something is moving maybe up or down. But here, when I have the 4 and the 1 hour pointing me to the upside, that is something that I put a lot of attention to, because then it's not only one time frame, it's 2 time frame. And if I go to the 30-minute chart, I know that if I go to the 1, to the 5, and to the 10, technically this is pointing already to the upside. So yeah, it becomes clearer, the direction, but the problem is that the market won't reward when people are taking no risks. So that's the other part. When if this happened before the market being able to retest, to make a dip retest, so this could maybe extinguish further bullish gains in the short term, meaning in the next 30 minutes, 1 hour. Why? Because maybe it's overexhausted. If it had moved to the downside first, it would have gained much more track. But again, it depends on how you feel it. This is the way I trade. I put the chart and I say, let me feel. Okay, I feel this. Period. My whole plan is based on that. Of course, I don't say, okay, I feel that this is moving up and I buy. No. I do further analysis, rational analysis, but upon my intuition. Of course, if I feel something that's going up and everything is pointing down, well, maybe I would like to find a better chance or a better timing to enter a bullish trade. because maybe it could continue moving down and down and down just to move up 2-3 hours later. But in the meanwhile, it went down 100 pips. So the rational part of trading comes after this skill that is developed. And of course, the more intelligent you are in the rational part, of course, you can filter bad trades in a much better way. But again, you need to start with this. Of course, you need to start with this, but this skill is the last thing that you will develop. And it's the first one that you need. So that is why trading is so frustrating. Because the very first, what is called Holy Grail, that it doesn't exist, but it's a metaphor of this, it will take you 1, 2, 5, 10, 15 years, depends. It depends on a lot of factors. But only after you're willing to pay that price, you will get what you were looking for, your first piece, your first thing that you need to master, that is your skill, upon you build your whole trading strategy. But the cool thing about being willing to pay the price, before you get to that diamond, I don't know, 1 kilometer below soil, etc., I don't know. In the meanwhile, in the process, you will develop a lot of things. Temper, being a technical savvy, learn a lot of fundamentals. So it's very rewarding when you are willing to get to the very end until you simply get to that point and not quitting before. But it's just at the end when everything makes sense. At the end, not before. You will say why I should then try to learn, I don't know, technical analysis or fundamentals, or knowing something about candlestick formations. Why, if I cannot make a sense of trading, I cannot make a living of it? Well, because it will come at the end. But you need to be prepared, having all this before. Of course, it would be very cool. The naturally born traders are the ones that already have this, and are the ones that after 6 months, 1 year, are gaining a lot of money, are making a lot of money, and you say, how in the hell if he just started? Well, it happens that somebody could be born with this immediately. But I am the living proof. Trust me, I was far from being a natural born trader. But it took me a lot of years, but it can be done. So, well, just to close this, another last check. Okay, yeah, now the euro dollar just retraced even more. 105.76. This is the latest. As you can see, it retraced here. And this trend line is at the 105.80. So this is the 76, so the 105.80 is this. So as you can see, the price just made it above the trend line, and now it's below. But what it really impressed me is the way it suddenly moved up. So I need to analyze the lower time frames, the 1, the 15, the 5, before the news release to see if I will open a trade in the fundamental trading contest, if it matches my criteria. What I mean with my criteria, that I at least expect that the movement could last more than 10 minutes, and that means only that would happen only if I feel that 80% of the chains and ropes are already loose. If not, the market will tend to move again in range. And there's another aspect. Even if you find that 80% the price is already loose, and it can move freely during 10 minutes after a news release in the natural direction, that in my opinion is to the upside, it can happen the complete opposite. You can have a very bad number and the market will simply sink. So it's very frustrating. You spend, or at least this is my case. I don't know if some other news traders found a much more optimal way to trade it. But in my case, it's very frustrating, and I quit doing this a long time ago because it takes you hours to really try to hunt an event, an outcome of an event that you are at least trying to expect that it should be more or less inside expectations in order to be successful. 80% of the times the numbers are more or less inside expectations, yes. But if you invest 2 hours, 3 hours, and just because the data was very deviated against you, it would spoil it all. That is why I have always preferred longer time frame trades that could be able to circumvent a deviated number. I mean, if it's very deviated, it could move widely in a direction, but if you're trading the 4-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, the most likely thing is that your stop loss is well positioned in a way that it will simply be safe out of being stopped out because of volatility. That is why I rather way more to trade a 1 and the 4-hour. Because if you start trading shorter time frames like the 30, like 50, you could be complete victim of volatility. And don't get me wrong, if you like to do it, do it. If you're good at it, do it. I'm not saying that it's not profitable, but it's a question of personality. I'd rather way more trying to scan other trading opportunities during the whole vast of Forex market, maybe opening trades in crosses or other pairs. I'm not dedicating all my time in a single trade that could end up being a losing one just because it was deviated the numbers, trying to guess it. When you don't have this kind of stuff, the market becomes kind of predictable. It's an animal that it behaves like an animal. When you learn how to read it, it moves the way it usually needs to move. Of course, that doesn't mean that you will never ever be wrong. But yeah, it's way less frustrating. I really get simply very frustrated when you dedicate 2 hours to something that ended up being wrong. And the moment you got it wrong, you realized it was because the number was very deviated from expectations. And there is no way to know it. So it depends on your style, it depends on your temper, it depends on your trading account, your interest, etc. How you will adapt. Trading the 1, trading the 4, unless it's something like the trade that stopped me at the margin call this last time on Thursday, that the Mexican Central Authority said something, some kind of that stuff will simply wipe out all kind of stop losses. But those kind of news are very rare, very strange. So yeah, in my opinion, the risk reward, the time invested against the potential reward or even potential loss, it worth it way more when you trade a 1 on the 4, 1 on the 4 hour, or even higher time frames. But that's only if you are a very well funded and wealthy person that could have a 1 million account or higher. Maybe you can trade monthly and you forget about the world. But well, that's another kind of case. So, well, yes, I would need to check this out. The market is finding some kind of floor at these levels, at the moving average, here. So yeah, I believe that maybe this wouldn't be looking downwards. But it depends on the news. If the news is between what it's expected, yeah, I believe that this has good possibilities to just move to the upside. But well, let's see if we can hunt something in the trading competition. Since I am not trading this in any other contests nor my live accounts, well, it would be just for fun. So just consider that before considering any information delivered here. Now, I would like to thank everybody for showing up. Thanks, Katerina, for hosting. Thanks, all the guests, for being around. Thanks, Nehat. This is the second time I see you here. So thank you very much for being around. Expect you tomorrow. Remember that this is Alberto Alvarado. This is my free YouTube channel. Remember to trade safe, be safe, and bye-bye.